Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Josh Talks podcast. Now, I wouldn't exactly call this a podcast. I'd say it's a mixture between a podcast and like a game review. I don't know. I just thought it would be fun to call it a podcast or something. Because not all of these are going to be game reviews, but these first like 6 or 7 or so are going to be game reviews. So if you don't like game reviews, I would wait until the next batch of episodes because those will be a little bit different. But for now, these are kind of like testing out the formula, seeing what you guys like, and comment any critiques or anything in the comment section below. But yeah, you can watch the screen and look at me talk while looking at that background of Super Mario 3D Land on the computer screens, or you can just set your phone down and draw or something, which is kind of what I wanted to accomplish. So, something that you can just listen to while you're playing Fortnite or something. I don't know, whatever you kids play these days. Now, in today's episode, we will be talking about the 3DS game Super Mario 3D Land. Now, I have 100% completed this game, so I have quite a few things to say about it. We're going to be talking first about the presentation, then the gameplay, then the overall, just critiques, and then the score out of 10. So first off, it was the first well, it wasn't the first 3D handheld, but it was like one of the bigger ones. It was the first in the 3D series. There was the 3D Land and 3D World, which came out on the Wii U. The big gimmick of this game was definitely the Super Leaf, which turns Mario into a raccoon guy. And as you could see in all the box art and stuff, there's the Goombas with the leaves, the bombs with the leaves, everything has the leaves. And spoiler alert, even Bowser has the leaf in some of the parts of the game. So, while this is a 3D Mario game, it definitely controls a lot more like a 2D Mario game. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like 3D in some areas, but most areas you're only running in like one direction, and it's like there's a wall and you're running in direction. It's like playing the original Mario Bros, but 3D edition kinda. So while it is a 3D Mario game, it feels a lot like a 2D 3D Mario game. It's definitely one of those things where it's like, if your parents are like, I don't get these 3D games, I like my 2D Marios, not that dumb 3D stuff. This is definitely a great introductory game for that. Wait, there we go. I'll set up the little game thing right there so you can see it if you're watching. But again, if you don't want to watch, you can just set your phone down or your computer or something and just do homework or something. I don't know. Nobody's in school yet, so I guess you're not doing homework, but you don't have to watch the video. You can just listen to the audio. Whatever you want to do. It's up to you. But if you want to watch the audio, there's going to be a little game right here. But, yeah. So, it's like a great introductory game for people that kind of didn't like the 3D elements at first and prefer the 2D games. Because it's like, it feels a lot more like a 2D Mario than a 3D Mario. So, I feel like if it's a good game for if you only like the 2D ones and you want to kind of transition to 3D ones, I'd recommend playing this game, Mario 3D Land, for the Nintendo 3DS. But yeah, like I said, the big gimmick was definitely the Super Leaf. Even the title thing has a Super Leaf on it, a little raccoon tail. And I think it was one of the first it was one of the launch-ish titles of the 3DS. It wasn't a 100% launch title, but it was one of the titles that the 3DS kind of came out with. I think it came out a couple months after the 3DS, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, the gameplay. We're moving into the gameplay now. It was pretty fun. I definitely liked the game. It was not a disappointment. You play as Mario. You can move in a few directions. it just feels like Mario 64, but with 2D level design. You just go from one side of the stage to the other, you touch the flagpole, try to get to the top, and then you go to the next level. There's a little world map. There's 8 worlds, and then the 8 special worlds. So you got about 16 worlds to explore. All of them having anywhere from I'd say 5 to 7 levels maybe. Some of those being toad houses. And then I think the last part of World 8 only has 2 levels. That's because World 8 has 2 segments. It's kind of weird. So, and there's 3 star coins hidden in each level. And I think the star coins are pretty easy to find if you just kind of look around for them. I think there was only a few instances where I needed to figure out how to find star coins. And I feel like most of those were on ghost houses. Because I hate ghost houses in Mario games, to be honest. It's half of the star coins are literally just run into this random wall and you get a star coin. Wow! That's why I always just look up a guide. I don't even care. Just get to the end of the level. I'll go back for it or something. And that's where they cram most of the secret exits in. If you go to the ghost house and run into this wall and do a somersault, and then you touch a P-switch, you'll have 1 second to enter the secret room. And then you get the secret thing that leads to literally nothing. Cool. But thankfully it wasn't in 3D Land that much. That's more of a problem with the new Super Mario games I've experienced, which we'll be talking about in the episode where we talk about New Super Mario Bros. 2. The ghost houses were manageable in this game, which I appreciated because I'm not a big fan of those levels. At the end of each world, there will be either a castle or an airship level. I prefer the castle levels because I think they're more interesting and fun. The airship levels are mostly auto-scrollers, and I don't really like auto-scrolling Mario levels. Just because it's either so slow that it's just painful, or it's so fast that you have to you just have to follow it, and you can't look for secrets or anything. Which is a problem because of the star coins that we need. And speaking of star coins, we're going to talk about 100% completion of this game, which is the biggest pain of the butt in your butt ever. So, to get 100% completion, you get these stars on your save file whenever you do a certain thing. You get 1 star whenever you first defeat Bowser and beat the main campaign. Another star when you get all the star coins in the first few worlds. Another star whenever you beat the final Bowser in the special worlds and beat him once again in the regular world. Another star, I believe, for whenever you you get another star for beating all the levels with Mario and Luigi and getting the top of the golden flagpoles. And you get your 5th star whenever you've done all of that, I believe, and then beat the final level. That might not be 100% accurate, but it's something along those lines. So, not only do you have to go through all the levels with Mario, so that's 16 worlds, that's a bunch of levels, I don't even want to know how many levels that is. But then you have to go back and play through all of those levels again as Luigi, who controls pretty much the same as Mario. I mean, he has a higher jump, but it's barely noticeable. I mean, he makes the final levels easier, but that's pretty much all he is in easy mode for Mario. So you play through this already pretty easy game, which I feel is the big problem. The game's just too easy in most cases. The first 8 worlds are just so easy. And then the final level is a little bit difficult, which is where I'll get into that in a little bit. And then the special worlds, I feel when you get into a little bit of 6 and then it's 7 and 8, it can get a little bit tricky. Especially if you're trying to get the star coins, because they're in hard to reach areas. But it's a pretty easy game. It's baby's first Mario game, pretty much. I played this when I was like probably like 6 or 7 on the 3DS, and I still beat it. It's not really a difficult game per se. Like, you won't be sitting there like, oh man, this level's so hard. And so you have to beat it as Mario, which I feel like that's alright. The adventure's pretty fun. But then you go back and play it on what's basically easy mode all over again, which is just really not that fun. Like, if they wanted it to be fun, they could have like maybe edited some of the levels a little bit for Luigi. Like, took advantage of his higher jumps, maybe made it a little bit more difficult. He could be like a hard mode or something. But I think a hurricane like happened on headquarters whenever they were making the game or something. So they probably were a little bit like, they probably had to cut some stuff or something so that they could release it on time. I don't know. Maybe they just threw him in as like an extra thing and didn't really flesh him out because they didn't have time. But I don't know. I feel like he's just such a character. Like, if he was available from the beginning or something as like an easy mode that you select and it's just Luigi, that'd be fine, I guess. Or like you could select Mario or Luigi from the very beginning. But unlocking him, like, you have to beat World 8 and then beat the first special world and you unlock Luigi. And all he is easy mode. Like, he's just Mario, but he jumps a little bit higher. And he's a bit, like, he can last longer in the air, I think. He's a bit floatier. So you're pretty much just getting an easy mode after you've beaten the easy part of the game. Well, I guess, yeah, maybe that's why. So that the players that were having trouble with Special World have, like, Luigi or something. But that still doesn't excuse the fact that to get 5 stars, you have to go back as Luigi, which is really dumb and boring. So let's say you did all that. All 16 worlds twice, which is 32 worlds in total, I think. Something like that. I don't know. Correct me on my math if I'm wrong. But you'd go through all that, get all the shiny star thingies, whatever, the star coins. But if you died more than 5 times in one level, you cannot get 5 shiny stars in the game. And okay, you might be wondering, hey, in like in a few of the new Super Mario Bros. Games, they did that too. If you die more than 5 times on a level, you just can't get the shiny stars. Well, in those games, you can go back to that level, replay the level, and then, like, without dying more than 5 times, and then you're good to go. It'll give you the shiny stars. But that's not how it works. As soon as you die more than 5 times, that save file is destroyed. You cannot get the shiny stars. So I went through the entire game, and I think on like the final castle of the first 8 worlds, I died like 6 or 7 times, just because it was like a tricky fireball part near the like middle of the level, and I was trying to get a star coin, and I didn't really think death had any like. I had like 100-ish lives, because you can get lives really easily in this game. And I was like, okay, I can just die a couple times and I'll be fine. And after you die 5 times, this little like tanuki leaf thing shows up, the white tanuki leaf. It's just the tanuki suit, but you're invincible. So if that shows up, you just cannot get the shiny stars. You pretty much just lost. So I only figured that out after looking up why I didn't have the shiny stars. I was like, what the heck? So not only did I have to beat the first 16 worlds as Mario, go back, play them on easy mode, get all the star coins, and then beat the final level, which it's not that hard, but it's kind of tricky. But then I had to do it again. Again! I don't think you can comprehend how awful that is. That was probably like almost 15 maybe hours on that game that I spent just for it to tell me, hey, do it again. Which, like, that just infuriated me, man. Like, so then I went through the entire slog of a game again. I played as Mario. I beat the first 16 levels all over again. I mean, all the first 16 worlds all over again. Unlocked Luigi. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. 100% honest. I did not finish it. I just did not have it in me to finish it. I was playing as Luigi, playing through the levels, and I was so bored. I was so bored. Because all the levels, like most of the levels are pretty okay the first time you go through it. And then most levels get like a remixed version of the level in the special worlds. That's all the special worlds are, pretty much just remixed harder versions of the other levels. Some even get like 3 to 4. So playing that stage for the like 17th time in a row on the easiest version of that stage, on the easiest character in the entire game, just to get some shines on my stars in the menu, I did not do it. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. Like, imagine playing like some game for so long and then having to play it again on the easiest difficulty known to man and slogging through 16 worlds of the easiest levels you've ever played in a Mario game in your entire life. And then just playing with the easiest character ever made. It's infuriatingly dumb. The game, I would say, if you're going to play the game, you need to research it before you play, which is a big problem. Not once in the entire game does it ever tell you that if you die more than 5 times, then you will lose the shiny star things. That is such awful game design. Imagine being like a kid and not having the internet and looking up, like playing the entire game, completing it, and then like being like, hey, where are my shiny stars? All my friends have shiny stars. Just because they died like 6 times on the first level because they've never played a video game before. So then they look it up online and it tells them they have to beat the entire game all over again. That is awful game design and a horrible way of punishing players. If this was like Dark Souls or something, sure, whatever, it's Dark Souls. It's known for being hard, difficult, and unfair. Like, whatever. It's a game for like adults, it's not for children. This is a handheld Mario game for the 3DS. This is literally marketed as E for everyone. This is for 2-year-olds. And it's literally preventing them from completing the game for no reason. If you die more than 5 times, you're just screwed. You have to beat the whole game all over again. It doesn't tell you this. The only way you could know is if you looked up the game before and looked up how to get shiny stars, which you don't even know what shiny stars are because you haven't played the game yet. Unless you like look up reviews of the game, I guess. But like, why? I just play a game and then I do it because reviews are never really that good. Most reviews are just like biased opinions. Like on IGN, they get like people that don't like platformers to review platformers. And that's why Battle for Bikini Bottom got like a 0 on IGN. But it's so infuriating. Like, I deserved those shiny stars. I went through all that work and I didn't get it. That's why I can never play this game again. I went through the 16 worlds twice, another time with Mario, and then I tried to go through it with Luigi. Let's look up how many times that is. That's 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus, I got to like world 6. 54 worlds! I went through 54 worlds of the easiest game. Half of those worlds I was playing with the easiest character on one of the most simplistic games ever made. And I didn't even get 100% completion because I died like 6 times on a level, and it didn't tell me that I could not get the stars. I'm sorry. So, if that wasn't a feature, this game would get a solid 7 out of 10. Fun gameplay, but it's reduced a little bit because the graphics aren't all that good because it's on the 3DS. The controls are okay, and the levels are kind of easy. But this feature makes me so upset that this game gets a big, fat, whopping 2 out of 10. The gameplay is fun. That's why it's getting 2 points. The gameplay is fun. It's okay for a Mario game. But I understand most people won't care about this. Like, oh, what do you mean? It's not that big of a deal. Why do you care about the stars on your profile? It's less about It's less about the stars. I don't care about the stars. It's more about the fact that the developers made it so that if you die more than 5 times in a kid's game, you cannot 100% complete it. You cannot finish the game pretty much without having to start all over again. And they don't even tell you why you don't get the stars. You just die 5 times and then you don't get the stars, and you probably have to look it up. But I don't even want to imagine the kids that played this game that don't have internet. They played the game with their friends. Their friends are probably like a little better than them. They got the shiny stars, the other friends didn't. And they did to their knowledge, they did the exact same thing. They beat the game the exact same way. And they don't know why the kid didn't get shiny stars. And he tries. He plays for hours and hours every night, replaying the game over and over and over, trying to get the stars. Starts a new save file, does it over and over again, but then dies like one more time. Like he dies 6 times on one level and doesn't know that that's the problem. Just because of those hours and hours that some kid somewhere has probably spent on this handheld Mario game, and that awful piece of game design, truly one of the worst game design choices I've seen in my entire life of playing video games. A feature so baffling and stupid that I just cannot. I'll change my score. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. 2 is a bit harsh. It's a fun game, and if you don't care about the stars at the end, you'll have a good time. But I have to reduce the points because not only does it look because it's on the 3DS, it looks okay, but I think other games like Ocarina of Time look a little bit better. And like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Like it definitely could be better. And like it's an alright game. It's pretty easy. But that piece of stupid game design is gonna knock it down 3 points for me. 1 point for the graphics being like and like other games in the 3DS being better. Another point because the games are so easy. Like I've played a bunch of Mario games, not all of them. Played Mario 1, 2, 3, World. I haven't played the Mario Land games. I've played Dr. Mario, Mario 64. I haven't played Sunshine, played a bit of Galaxy. I played Mario Maker, Mario 3D Land, Mario 3D World, Mario Odyssey, like the Luigi's Mansion games. Mario's Kart. I've played a bunch of Mario games, and this is single-handedly the easiest. By it's like so easy. Which it's going to knock it down some points for me. I feel like if you're not casually playing this game, if you're like a competitive player and you only like hard games, this isn't the game for you. You're not going to like it. So I'm going to reduce a point for that. And then, again, like I said, 3 points I'm knocking down because of that stupid piece of game design. And I know you guys may be upset. I think it's at like 25-ish minutes right now. And all because of one... I've pretty much just spent this whole review complaining about how I didn't get 5 shiny stars on my save file. But I just feel like that piece of game design hinders this game so much. Most people might not even care, but to me, I think this is such a problem in the game design, and the developers added it in knowing what they did and not adding any way to inform you, and they just were fine with that. And I'm going to stop complaining, so you guys I'm going to stop. So overall, Super Mario 3D Land for the Nintendo 3DS gets a 5 out of 10 on the Josh Talks reviewing section. Tune in tomorrow for my review of New Super Mario Bros. 2. I'll see you guys next time. And then tell me in the comments how I can improve, because this is like the pilot episode, I guess you could